Victory parade for our Paralympians. MCA says no to redelineation exercise. I'm Natasha Hussain. This is Cuppa News. Team Malaysia made us very proud at the recently concluded Rio Paralympics, and to celebrate their outstanding performance, they will return home to a hero's welcome on Thursday. The contingent is expected to arrive at 3:05 p.m. at KLIA and will be greeted with a water salute.
Mereka akan terus dibawa ke kompleks Bunga Raya di lapangan terbang antarabangsa Kuala Lumpur, di mana kita akan adakan majlis sambutan bersama dengan Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Najib, Perdana Menteri, dan juga Yang Bahagia Datin Seri Rosmah. Acara tersebut akan berlangsung sehingga kira-kira jam 5 petang, apabila mereka akan dibawa atas bas menuju ke Kuala Lumpur.
Their journey will be part of a 10-kilometer parade in the city centre, which starts at Jalan Tun Razak and ends at the Paralympic Sports Excellence Centre in Kampong Pandan. The parade will make 2 stops at KLCC and Pavilion.
We decided to create a convoy for them to go through the city centre. And I hope people who are working in KLCC, who happen to be in KLCC, Bukit Bintang area, akan keluar dan meraihkan atlet ini, because we heard so much about the public wanting to support them, the public being so proud of them, and this is the time for the public to come out and show that support and that pride on the 22nd.
With 3 gold medals and bronze, Malaysia ranked 36th among 163 countries that took part at the Games. Moving on to more controversial news, Jelutong MP Jeff Ooi has turned himself into the police for questioning over his adios tweet. A smiling Ooi was accompanied by his lawyer, Sri Delima Assemblyman RSN Rayer, at the Georgetown District Police Headquarters. The DAP MP came under fire after tweeting "Adios Harundin, let there be peace" on Friday. 5 police reports were lodged against him. Ooi is being investigated under Section 298 of the Penal Code for uttering words with deliberate intent to hurt the religious feelings of any person.
He was placed under arrest, and then after his statements were recorded, he was given a police bail.
Meanwhile, a 69-year-old businessman was remanded for 3 days for allegedly insulting Islam in connection with the death of Datuk Dr. Harundin. He allegedly made the insensitive comments on Facebook under the name Ong TK. 2 other suspects arrested for similar reasons, however, walked free on Monday after Magistrate Noor Aisha Ahmad denied the police's request to remand them. Since we're on the topic of insensitive and unnecessary FB posts, former Malacca Chief Minister Tan Sri Rahim Tambicik was fined nearly 2,000 ringgit over a post alleging that the Selangor Crown Prince was an apostate. Rahim was slapped with the fine after pleading guilty to a charge of using Facebook to send comments of a seditious nature, an act committed on September 25th last year. His counsel had mitigated for a more lenient sentence in view of Rahim's long service to the nation as a former CM and Deputy Minister of Home Affairs. Rahim had faced a maximum fine of 50,000 ringgit or a year in jail. Following his guilty plea, the prosecution then dropped the principal charge of sedition. The 66-year-old also tendered an apology to Tunku Amir's father, Selangor Sultan Sharifuddin Idris Shah. MCA is opposing the proposed redelineation by the Election Commission and will submit counter-proposals that represent a multi-ethnic and multi-religious nation.
From 1,000 voters up to more than 10,000 voters, I mean the number of seats that affecting MCA seat. Oleh itu, bilangan ini kita rasa adalah amat besar dan akan juga memberikan kesan yang buruk kepada negara kita. Oleh itu, MCA cadangkan bahawa pembahagian sempadan ini perlu melibatkan berbagai kaum dan perlu mencerminkan kepelbagaian dalam persempadan kali ini.
He added that the party's counter-proposals would be ready for discussion at the Barisan Nasional Supreme Council meeting this Friday. Meanwhile, UMNO Vice President Datuk Sri Hishamuddin Hussein refuted the opposition's claims that the EC's proposed redelineation exercise is meant to benefit the ruling party in the next GE.
Tak ada orang bincang dengan saya pun macam mana nak perkukuhkan kedudukan saya sebagai ahli parlimen sebelum. Kalau ada, lega lah saya. Tak payah saya balik kawasan tiap-tiap minggu.
A total of 12 parliamentary and 34 state constituencies could undergo a name change under the proposed exercise. Now, election watchdog Bersih has given its 2 cents on the redelineation and may file a lawsuit against the EC. The electoral watchdog is accusing the EC of abdicating its constitutional duty with its latest redelineation exercise.
EC would tell you that Damansara has to got 150,000 voters because it's urban area, while Sabak Bendam should have 37,000 because it's rural. This has no constitutional basis at all. Section 2C, 13th schedule of the Federal Constitution merely spell out that all constituencies within the same state had to be approximately equal.
Wong claims that Selangor is the most affected state in terms of malapportionment, with the ratio of the largest constituency to the smallest 4.05 to 1. He added that the largest electoral boundary redrawing exercise will increase the voter ratio imbalance between a state's largest and smallest, alleging that the gap will be even more lopsided than the 2013 general election. In the meantime, the Red Shirts, led by Sungai Besar UMNO Division Chief Datuk Jamal Yunus, will be holding counter rallies at all cities where Bersih plans to hold its series of road shows.
Mereka katakan nak buat roadshow mulai 1 hari bulan 10 ini di Lumut, ya, di Kanga, di Johor Bahru, di mana lagi? Di Miri, tak kiralah mana saja, tunggu kami, ya, Bersih in the gang. Ya, binatang sirkus ini tunggu kami di lokasi-lokasi yang mereka umumkan.
He was speaking to reporters after lodging a police report against Maria Chin over the planned Bersih 5 rally on November 19th. In world news, UN member states have adopted a plan to tackle the biggest refugee crisis since World War II. World governments adopted a non-binding political declaration pledging to uphold the rights of refugees, help them resettle, and ensure they have access to education and jobs. Earlier, Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ahmad Zaid Hamidi told the UN conference that more funding was needed to help settle refugees.
Malaysia is still hosting about 150,000 persons of concern, comprising of asylum seekers and refugees from 54 countries, though the term refugees is not being defined under any of our domestic legislations.
US President Barack Obama will host a second summit on Tuesday when some 40 countries are expected to make new offers of aid. In other news, South Korean prosecutors questioned Lot Group chairman Shin Dong-bin on Tuesday as part of a corruption probe into the country's 5th largest business conglomerate. The probe, which began in June, has already scuppered Hotel Lot's planned $4.5 billion IPO and served as the backdrop of the apparent suicide of one of the group's top executives last month. Christopher Kane celebrated the 10th year anniversary of his label at London Fashion Week on Monday. The Scottish designer showcased looks inspired by the wartime mantra, make do and mend, but all eyes were on the Crocs on the catwalk.
I mean, he managed to even make Crocs. Those kind of rubber shoes look good. He had sort of gemstone encrusted Crocs.
Crocgate will no doubt occupy social media for months to come. Alistair and Johnny Brownlee were brothers in arms at a dramatic finale of the World Triathlon Series in Cozumel on Sunday. British Olympic champion Alistair hauled an exhausted Johnny over the line, assuring he would get second place and him third.
Yeah, well, I've been in that position before, and when it happened to me in London all those years ago, I remember sprinting away in second place and then being in the position Johnny's in now and coming round and someone telling me I was in 10th, and I was like, how did all them people come past me? So I swore if it happened to anyone, if it happened to Henry, I would have helped him across the line.
Johnny, in a tweet from his hospital bed, offered a heartfelt thumbs up to his bro.
You all know the saying, he ain't heavy, he's my brother. We leave you with a video of a couple in China who exchanged pythons instead of rings at their wedding. You may hiss the bride. Good night.